Victory.
Burning Questions.
Yeah.
Howdy. This is everyone's favorite designer, James Victory, coming to you from the most creative studio in the world, also known as a shed. You know, having said that, I know that people at Google Labs are furiously trying to recreate the situation I have here, but you know what? Without authenticity, it ain't gonna happen. You guys are just gonna have to struggle away in your silly little studios. Today we got a question on Burning Questions from our dear friend Susan. And Susan writes in, and Susan is a college student. The Burning Questions audience is a wide swath of people. There are college students, there are mid-careers, and there are people from 45 to 55. But the reason I'm answering a college question is because college students are at that point in their life when they're still honest with themselves, and they're very concerned with their lives and their futures. So for professionals and mid-careers and whatnot, a college student's question, the college students serve as the proverbial canary in the coal mine for us, right? So we have to listen to them, and we have to be open to their concerns as well. So, dear fragile canary Susan writes in, and she says, I have a question. I've had a question for some time about trusting yourself as a designer and in life. I've always wanted to go to art school, but due to blah, 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 I ended up at a liberal arts school, and I'm having a hard time immersing myself in my program because I've always told myself that in order to be the best designer, I should be around art all the time. I've had a few really good semesters in my design program, and now I get so nervous to even try to produce something new that I allow it to hinder myself from producing anything. How do you trust yourself in the path that you took? It is a question about trust. Susan, as a side note, I think that design schools should be disbanded. I think designers should go to a liberal arts college, learn everything about everything, and then design. First, learn everything, then forget it, then design. Learn about poetry, learn theater, learn about religions of the world, learn everything. Don't specialize in design. It makes your world so small. Anyway, we go back to the original question. It's a question about trust. And Susan, trust is hard. I know this. You asked me about my path. Oh my gosh, my path creatively is as straight as a salmon swimming upstream. You know, I didn't know where I was going to end up. You know, here's another funny little thing. As a professional designer, I started working just before computers were in everybody's studio and were the things we worked on. I started working in graphic design because I liked working with my hands. I liked breaking things and cutting them up and gluing them back together. I never thought that professionally what I would do would be manage a bunch of websites. Blah. My path was never straight. The straight path is the boring path. Well, I knew when I was 7 I wanted to become an accountant, and now I'm an accountant. Next question. So, trust is hard. And you've fallen into a trap, because I read it in your letter, you've fallen into a trap that you actually have lost and forgotten the secret, or don't know the secret of the universe. And the secret of the universe is that nobody knows jack shit. You think there are people out there who have answers, and you want to trust their answer. But they don't know. They're just making it up. And here's the hard thing. For everybody, for all of us, we have the answer. We have the answer. We have it inside us, and we have to learn how to listen to it. And we have to learn how to trust it. I'm in a shed. I have to turn this place full of wasps and paper-thin walls that I have to figure out how to cool down, and I don't even have a desk yet. I have to trust myself that this spot is going to be one of the most creative hubs on the planet. I have to trust that. that means I don't go to bed just keeping my fingers crossed and my toes crossed, trusting. No, I gotta do the work. Susan, trust means doing the work. Have faith, but do the work. Also, in trusting yourself, it means surrendering, letting go of these preconceived notions, letting go that there is an answer waiting for you. The answer is inside. You have to surrender and let it be there. And if you don't trust yourself, through practice, continual practice, doing the work again and again and again, you're robbing yourself. You're robbing yourself of this wonderful ability to say, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but let's go. This is a good example. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how it's going to work out. I have got to get people to help me. They're out there somewhere waiting. But I have to also believe and have faith in myself and say, I'm going to talk to everybody. I'm going to do the work. And I'm going to surrender and trust that it's going to happen. Because listen, Susan, here's the other part. If you don't trust yourself, what's the alternative? If you don't trust yourself, the alternative is you'll never get to know yourself. If you don't trust yourself, the alternative is you'll never be able to make the work that you really need to make, the work that's inside of you. Because you'll be looking over your shoulder at other people's work. Because you'll be thinking somebody else has an answer. You know, you'll look through books and go, oh, I should be doing this. Or look at trends and go, oh, I should be doing that. There's a ton of that out right now. It's nuts. It looks like there's basically 3 designers in the world cranking out this same stuff when there are a million different solutions, but nobody's trusting themselves. They're following style and trend and, unfortunately, money. Susan, the trust question, it's about getting to the point where you know yourself and trust that, and trust that that is good, that what you have inside of you, this answer inside of you, is awesome, and you don't need anybody else's. You don't need Google Labs or a fancy studio, right? You have to have faith. You have to talk to everybody, show your work to everybody, and you got to do the work. You got to do the work. It comes down to that. Trust comes through practice. Okay? So, Susan, you're on the right path. Don't worry about it. You're on the right path. It might not look it at the time, but you are. Okay? You are being shepherded. And here's another thing about the trust thing. If you don't trust yourself, Susan, you're going to question that path, and you're going to alter it, and you're going to take a job because you've got rent. I have so many people who write in, and they're like, I hate my job. My job, I get paid and it goes to my mortgage. And I show up to a job I hate and it goes to my mortgage or my car payments. This is what my life looks like. I was creative at one point. Trust yourself. Susan, trust. I won't say it's easy, it's hard. Everybody else, Burning Questions audience, you guys are amazing. Trust yourself. Get out there and whip up a storm. You don't need anybody else's permission. You don't need fancy situations or circumstances. Drop by Georgetown. I'll show you how it's done. Y'all are awesome. Burning Questions. Have a damn opinion. That's trust. Love something other than yourself. That's trust. And make work that matters. And that is the aim of trust. You guys are great. Hey, haven't mentioned this in a while. I've got a website associated with Burning Questions called Patreon. We are working on integrating these two things tighter. We're doing so much to the Burning Question thing right now. Take a look at Patreon. Support this channel, I guess it's called, with whatever you can. You guys are awesome. You're making this happen. I love you. Talk to you next week. Subscribe. Go to jamesvictoria.com and subscribe to Burning Questions, and we'll send you the newsletter that's got boner information in it. And actually, on this trust thing we were thinking about earlier, I think it should be an pretty interesting newsletter too. You guys are awesome. I'm out of here. I got work to do. I'm getting to work. Talk to you later. Bye.